Welcome to the second video of the Wild West Pygame series. Today we will be importing and setting up the Pygame. For this you will need to download the folder with all the assets in. This will be in the GitHub or Google Drive link in the description. When you download the folder, make sure you place it in the same area as the Python file you are using. Now let's hop into the code. First of all, I want to import. So, the only thing we need to import are random and Pygame. Then we need to follow this by initializing Pygame with pygame.init. We are going to make the window variable, and that can be used in all functions. So we do this by using global on the window size and window. So it goes global window and then global window size. Now that we've made these global, we need to actually give them a value. So we're going to do window size equals, and then we're going to give it 1,700 and 950. Now then the window will be window equals pygame.display.set_mode, and then in brackets we're just going to place window size. Really simple. So now we have to make a window with a size that's about the same size as the screen. So now we start the game. So I'll create a game function. So game function, and I'm just going to call it def game, and then we're just going to go down here and call the function. So right there, and now that's going to call when the code gets to the end. So now inside of this function we will import the images to be used for the main game. So first I will import the sprites. So we do sprite equals. So I'll be using an array inside an array. So I'll be using two square brackets. The first part of the array is for the character, and the second part is for the attacker. So I need to first type inside pygame.image.load. This is so then inside we put the directory to the files we're going to be importing. So put assets/images/shooting1, and then put .png at the end, and then a comma after this all, and then I'm going to select all of this, copy it, and then I'm going to paste it in 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in the second part of the array, I want to copy it in a further 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. So now I've got this, I just want to change the file names we are going to be using. So I'll go through and change them to shooting1, shooting3, shooting2, and along here we get shooting walk. Then we're going to get almost shooting walk. And then we're going to get walk on its own. We're going to get rogue. Now we're on to the second part of the array. We're going to do rogue, and then rogue walk. So the next bit we get rogue walk, and just to go to the last one, we get rogue attack. Right, that's it. So now we have done this, I want to scale these images. So we're going to go So once again, I will place the sprites array in, and now set it to this. So sprites equals, and then 2 square brackets again with the 2 parts. So do now 2 square brackets again, and then inside I want to write Pygame dot scale, the transformer dot scale, and then in brackets I want to put the sprites array and then the direction. I'm just going to start with 0, 0, then comma, brackets 96 and 156. Put a comma after this and then copy it in again to the same format. So 6 times in the first part, and then 3 times in the second part. The first step is simple. Just set the locations to where they are in the list. So sprite 0, 0, then 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 0, 5, 1, 0, 1, 1, and then finally 1, 2. So now the scales need to change though. So for the first part, we only have to change the X size. So we're going to change these X sizes to 96, 90, 60, 96 again, then 90, and finally 72. For the second part, we need all the Y's to be 150 already. So I'm just going to go through and quickly change all of these Y's to 150. And now the X's should be 75, 75, and then 135. So 75, 75, then 135. Now that we have scaled the sprites, we just need to make a flipped version of the sprite. This is so it can face a different direction. So now we make a new array called flipped sprites. Flipped sprites. And then it's going to be the same format once again. So 2 parts. So what we now write is Pygame dot transform dot flip. Then in brackets we put the sprite and then the direction. So sprites 0, 0 for first, and then so we start with 0, 0, then we flip it horizontally, so we do true, and then we don't want to flip it vertically, so we put false. Once again, put a comma after here, and then I'm going to copy and paste it in 6 times for the first part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 3 times for the second part. 1, 2, 3. Now, all we have to do again is just change all the directories to what was earlier, so 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, and so on until you get to 1, 2. So 0, 3, 0, 4, then 0, 5, then 1, 0, and 1, 1, and last of all, 1, 2. We have now put all the sprites into the program. Now for the rest of the game images. So I'm going to grab the image.load from earlier. and place it into a new images array. I want to paste this in 4 times and then switch the file names. So we're going to switch the file names to skull, background, revolver, and last of all, pane. Now once again I need to go, so I need to grab the scale command and then copy it in 4 times. So images equals, and then scale command copied in 4 times. So I'm going to change all the sprites to images. There we go. So now the directories I will change to 0, 1, 2, and finally just 3. Finally, I will set the scales. So the first one, so the first image, which is going to be the skull, it will have a scale of 40, 40. The next one is scale will be the same as the window, so then I'm getting the window size variable. And then next we want 150, 210. And then we want the window size variable once again. Now all the game images are finished, I will load in the others. So to start with the fonts. First I create a font array. And then inside of here I want to put pygame.font.font. And here I'm going to put the directory to the font we want. So I'm going to put assets/fonts/ and then for this one I'm going to put plasdrip.ttf. Then after that I'm going to put a comma, and then I want to put the size of the font I'm going to be using. So this one will be 140, and then a comma. Then I want to copy this and then make it so there's 2. We only need 2. I'm first going to change the size of that one to 55, so the second will be 55, that will be the font size, and the new name will not be plasdrip and it will be stencil font. So that is it for our fonts, and now the colours. Once again I will create another array. This time inside I will put pygame.color.color and then put the color codes in brackets. So I'm going to copy and paste this 4 times. So I'm going to quickly select it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to change the color codes. So the first one is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, so 6 zeros. The second one is 8A, 0, 3, 0, 3. The next one is 7, 4, 5, A, 2, 3. And the last one will be 6 Fs. Now one final array for this week. This will be importing the sounds files. So once again we do the sounds array and then square brackets. In here put pygame.mixer.sound. Then in brackets we put the directory. This time it's going to be assets, sorry about speech marks, assets / sounds / damage.wav. Then I'm going to place a comma and then copy and paste this a further 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to set the file names to damage, that's already done, knife, shot, and just realised we need actually 4 times, so there we go. That's the 4th time, so you get 4 sounds, and then we're going to change that last one to walking. We have now finished all the arrays, so I'm going to make the clock command now. So I'm going to do clock equals, and they're going to do pygame.time.clock, then 2 brackets at the end. And finally, it is time to start the main loop. So I'll set a variable to false. So finished equals false. And then I'm going to start a while loop to check the value of that variable. So I'm going to do while not finished. If it is false, then it will go along. So first, I'm going to put the background into the window. So I do window.blit. And then inside of here, we're going to do images 1. Now the top left corner will be in the top left screen, so I'm going to put a comma and then in brackets 0, 0. Then to display this, under it I put pygame.display.flip. The background is now finished, so the last thing to do today makes it so when I click the exit, the Pygame window will close. So I'm going to go through each event in Pygame and see if any of them is pressing exit. So I first do for event in Pygame.event.get. Then inside of this for loop, I will check if the event is pressing exit. So therefore I put if event.type equals Pygame.quit in all capitals. Then my variable from earlier that I used will be set to true, so finished equals true. Now that is it for today. All that will happen when you run it is a Pygame window will come up and you would see the background image will be shown. I hope you enjoyed following along to this video and you learnt something from it. Please always consider subscribing and liking the video. Tune into the next video where we'll be adding the character in and making him move with the A and D keys.